So I do think that nothing just happens. And even when we don't realize that we're on a path of a certain kind, when we look back, there are certain things that have already started preparing us for the things that we're doing today. I took some time to reflect on when I actually started doing hard things. And memory took me back to times when I was still a little girl. This is before 10 years of age. And I remember my dad being someone who pushed myself and my siblings academically to do really well. And for some reason, I felt like an extra push on my end. And I just recall two instances. One, when my dad was gonna sign me up for the MTN Who Wants to Be a Millionaire challenge for kids. And I remember being in the car with my mom and driving to the venue. Unfortunately, due to some miscalculations that happened, we ended up not being on the show, but we got to be at the venue. And I thought to myself, I was so full of nerves, and I was wondering, what was my father thinking, putting me out there to such a competition? What if I failed? What if I got the first question wrong? That would be so embarrassing. But now I think about it, I realized no, that was him putting me out there and challenging me and putting me on the path of doing extraordinary things, doing hard things that I personally may not have believed I could do. The second time I think about when I was preparing for high school, and with Loyola JSU's College being the #1 school in Nigeria, my dad wanted me to apply and give it a shot. Again, I was nervous because what are the odds that I could do this hard thing? I still went ahead with it, even if I didn't pass the entrance examination. That was me trying hard things. That was me trying hard things and failing, and also learning from them. And when I think about me today, and I know a lot of people seeing my journey, they think this just started yesterday or last year. And just reflecting is making me realize that no, this started over a decade ago. It started 15 years ago. It started right from home. And when I think about that, it just makes me appreciate every single moment. Because there are times when we don't realize that things are building us up for a certain path. And I'm just so grateful. That is amazing and a great question, because I think that is the beauty about life, when we have to move from evolving and learning from the different phases in life. So when I first started, I had people like my dad, my family, my siblings who would encourage me or have me do hard things. What I'm finding now is I am the one that's pushing myself to do these hard things. Nobody is telling me, hey Derby, do you want to do this new hard thing? I'm the one saying, oh, I want to do that hard thing. So I think at certain phases in our lives, at all phases, we always need support system. We need people. At certain phases in our lives, those people may be more dominant in the push when we're trying to put ourselves in a certain path. And then we get to the point when we begin to adult. For me, that was early on going in college, and we begin to make those decisions ourselves. I remember in 2019, graduating from university, college, I told myself, give yourself the permissions to try new things. And that included hard things. So in this stage of my life, I find that I am the primary force pushing myself to do these extraordinarily hard things. And there's still other cheerleaders too as well who may see something and say, I see something in you, I think you can do that. So I see that in my career, I see that outside of work, I see that in the community. So I think at the end of the day, it's just staying on par and understanding what part of life you're in and seeing who should be the influence. I personally believe that while other people can influence you, you should be your #1 influencer when you're going to do those hard things, because you're going to need motivation at some point, especially the inner motivation that others cannot provide. Yeah, that's a great point. So I'm always mindful about this in general when I talk about hard things, because like you said, hard means different to different people. For some people, hard means, me going to the gym once in 2 weeks. And everybody has to trust and appreciate and recognize what their definition is. For me, hard things are things I haven't done. They're things I'm not familiar with. There are things that push me. There are things that may actually like get me a little bit extra passionate or make me want to really see like what is on the other side. So hard things are things that push me to the other side of the spectrum and make me see what the full picture would be. There are things that I probably may not have seen people who are close to me do, but I find are opportunities for me to harness current skills and get new things. So for me, hard things are mostly in my uncomfortable zone, and I approach them because I know that in my uncomfortable zone is where growth actually takes place. Okay, so I think in general, like this, like hopefully what people can get out of this conversation is nothing just happens. Doing hard things, choose your heart. I'm sure we've seen those quotes on social media in different ways. Hard looks like different things, but the most important thing, at least from my experience, is choosing my heart looks like me showing up for my future self, me trying new things, me actually trying to engage in life, because I do realize that the things that may be hard, and it's not just only about like how hard or difficult this is, it's more about like what comes out of this hard experience. For me, what has come out of my hard experience have been beautiful memories, have been memories that made me realize that growth does not happen in a linear way. And there's also been results that show me that I am capable of doing more than I think I can, if only I would try. So hopefully you choose your heart today, try, and see what's on the other side. Until next time.